Good morning, I'm Taylor Jacobson. The Internet of Things has played an integral role in our lives. As many high school students living in the US transferred to an online learning environment, it has affected students in numerous ways. According to the article, 4 Ways Technology Has Changed Education, the author shares when we go online, we enter an environment that promotes cursory reading, hurried and distracted thinking, and superficial learning. This has led to the research question, to what extent have online meetings on computers negatively impacted education among high school students in the US? Online meetings have negatively impacted students through low engagement levels, ineffective learning, internet issues, and low test performance compared to a face-to-face learning environment. On the other hand, many people believe that online learning creates many opportunities for communicating globally. In the provided stimulus, What is the Internet of Things? The author Matt Burgess states, the quality and scope of the data across the Internet of Things generates an opportunity for much more contextualized and responsive interactions with devices to create a potential for change. Online learning can provide opportunities for students to communicate from different areas of the world. Even though online learning may present some benefits, this platform creates many more negative impacts on students and their education. The first point that supports how online meetings negatively impact students' education is through a decrease in engagement online. As you can see in this visual, all the students' webcams are turned off, and the only person you can see is the teacher in the upper left-hand corner. The author Sydney Johnson writes in the article On or Off, California Schools Weigh Webcams Concerns During Distance Learning. When students' webcams are off, it can be difficult to know if they are confused, bored, excited, or in need of anything at home. Teachers can't see the visual cues, and this makes it hard to tell if students are understanding concepts and if they need any help. This also limits the students' academic growth. Additionally, students are not able to learn as effectively in an online learning environment. Learning online requires a lot of self-discipline and self-motivation, and completing work on time and showing up to class promptly. In this visual, you can see how this student tries to stay organized in completing notes, which is a skill students need to be doing on their own. As stated in this article, transitioning to an online environment, data showed that students who transitioned suddenly to online learning did so without necessarily having the practice or experience to learn well online, and that the transition required them to shift their device use habits from leisure to studying. This can make it difficult for students to adjust to the expectations of online learning. The third point that supports the argument is internet issues. As you can see, notifications like this one prevent students from learning due to interruptions with technology. This can make it challenging for students to turn in work on time and learn the content they need for the day. The article, A Comparative Analysis of Student Performance in an Online versus Face-to-Face Environmental Science Course, suggests that if technical problems occur, online students may not be able to communicate, submit assignments, or access study material. These are the main problems that arise with no internet connection and may cause students to fall behind in their online courses. The fourth point is that students learning in an online environment tend to have lower test scores than students learning face-to-face. In a study conducted in the environmental science course, there was data gathered to compare the test scores of students learning in the two different environments. For example, you can see in this visual that 28 students face-to-face earned 28 A's, which was 63.60% of total A's earned, while online students earned 16 A's, which was 36.40% of total A's earned. This suggests that there is a gap in learning between these two environments. The solution to this argument is that creating an interactive environment online so students are more willing to stay engaged, which will also help raise test performance scores. Also, providing accessibility to an IT help desk or backup equipment for technology issues will help the process of retrieving the internet connection faster and smoother, so students are not stressing over getting behind in class. The limitations to this solution are that not many students are self-motivated and self-disciplined to perform well on their tests and know that their grades will affect in high school can affect their future. They also may not have support at home or the knowledge to that um, understanding that learning on that sorry that learning online can affect their future. Also, many students may not afford to have the proper equipment or enough administration to help with poor technology issues with the volume of students they have to serve. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do have two questions for you. First up, how valid and reliable were the sources that you used, and how do you know that they were?
All my sources were very valid and reliable because I made sure they were either academic journals or that the research articles had multiple perspectives included and cited the research institutions or cited teachers like I used in the Sage Journal article, which shared their own experience with online learning.
And if you had more time, what additional research would you do?
I would research more statistics on the test performance scores, which could show the difference in test performance in an online learning environment and how that negatively affects students compared to face-to-face learning.